Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone that you can. Just get out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right to the video. Jayson Tatum was having a phenomenal all-around game before he got injured in our last game versus the Kings, and I just wanted to take a look and talk about it. So let's get into the film. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. I'm not going to hold y'all for too long. My head is hurting like a Jayson Tatum, right? So in 26 and a half minutes in this game, he had 25.7 rebounds and 8 assists. And it's getting to a point where we got to stop this shit, man, where we allow people to try to tell us that this isn't a special player. Can he be more efficient? Fuck yes. Can he be more blah blah blah? Probably, bro. But this is the most complete player in our game right now, whether people like it or not. Nobody does everything like Jayson Tatum does, right? There's not a 6'8" strong wing that acts as a guard 65% of offensive possessions, plus being a very willing screener as a top option on the team, plus being a top option, plus being the team's best passer, plus being the team's best rebounder, plus guarding 1 through 5. He's guarding that 5 to take away the effectiveness of the switching that happens. The handler is a dynamic handler. He guards the 5, so hey, you can't hunt that matchup anymore. Also, like we've seen in the finals, hey, he can guard those 5 so they can take away those lobs that were such a huge problem in the Western Conference playoffs. They were a problem the whole Western Conference playoffs. Then when Tatum was guarding Gafford and Laverty and he stopped it, they tried to say, oh, it's Gafford and Laverty. No, stop that. Please don't do that. Don't do greatness like that. Don't see greatness and try to shit on it. Okay, there's so much I can get into. I just really don't have the health to do that right now. But to start this off, we got Tatum. He's gonna screen for Jrue Holiday here, and then comes out to the top of the key, gets the ball from Kristaps Porzingis, and of course the gravity, that Jayson Tatum brings. He's 6th in the NBA in overall gravity, and the Celtics do a nice job. I like Jrue in the dunker spot in this game. There were a couple plays, especially with Tatum handling, where Jrue in the dunker spot caused some things. Keon Ellis and DeMar DeRozan are communicating because Jrue is in the dunker spot and you got Payton Pritchard in the corner. Tatum drives and DeMar DeRozan is just looking directly at Jayson Tatum. Even though Payton Pritchard has been killing the league from 3, he's a great shooter. It's probably 6th man of the year. When Jayson Tatum drives, all eyes are on him, so he passed out to Payton Pritchard for the 3. And I talked about his rebounding earlier. Jayson Tatum is top 10 in the NBA in defensive rebounds per game, and he does get contested ones, so I don't want to just hear that all his rebounds are like this. But it's such a luxury when he can get uncontested defensive rebounds, because he can do this, right? He brings the ball up while the defense is like retreating. Jayson Tatum's putting pressure on him. He's making the right decisions. Here he gets off the ball early, passes it to Jrue Holiday, and it leads to him getting an open 3 at the top of the key. So he hits that shot, right? We go down on defense, and then we come down. Sabonis shoots that. Then Jayson Tatum gets another open defense rebound. And again, while the defense is retreating, we get into the drag screen, right? We got Porzingis changing the angle of the pick and roll right here, coming to this side. You see how this affects Domantas Sabonis, right? Who I will speak ill of later. Looks like he's going to set the screen on this side of Keegan Murray, and he switches it. Sabonis just has to come out to this side because that's where he thought was happening, and that Tatum got the ball up so quick after that defensive rebound. He sees that there's nobody on the right side, and he goes through and dunks the ball. All right, the Celtics are going to go to ram action. Ram action is an off-ball, is when an off-ball screen is set for somebody to go set a ball screen. The Celtics use this a lot when there's a big man on the opposing team that they think Jayson Tatum can really take advantage of in the high pick and roll. So when we play the Knicks, they use this a lot on Karl-Anthony Towns, and he struggles with like getting through the screen and then having to go help and check Jayson Tatum in that high pick and roll. So we got the off-ball screen set here by Jrue Holiday. This big man here who already struggles to move, not only has to guard Jayson Tatum in the pick and roll, but they have to get through this to get to Jayson Tatum. And while they're getting through that, Luke Cornett is sprinting into this on-ball screen, right? He's sprinting. Luke Cornett, one of the most underrated players in the NBA. And I haven't done a good job of documenting his season as well as some others, and that will change. But the way that Luke Cornett screens, the way he understands screening angles, and the quickness in which he gets into screens and gets out of screens is super important to this offense. So while Valanciunas is, trying to get past Jrue Holiday, right? That half a second where he just hits him, he doesn't have to set the greatest screen because, again, how good Jayson Tatum is and how fast Luke Cornett gets into these screens. This half a second where Jrue Holiday has Valanciunas held up means the world. So Luke Cornett sets that screen, and Valanciunas is just not the greatest person to check this. Jayson Tatum with a really good in and out dribble when he gets fouled. And also the strength that Jayson Tatum has added has really added to his game. I remember him coming in as this really skinny, skillful kid. He's still that skillful guy, but he was not able to do this a couple years ago when guys really guard him closely. He's now able to carve out his own space, and then he hits him with that Smitty move right there as he's backing down. He's probably expecting him to back down again. Tatum hits him with that Smitty move. You see Valanciunas come over, drops it down to Kornet. All right, so this was one of the good Jrue Holiday in the dunker spot plays that I like, and the Celtics covered that with something else, which was really cool. So on this play, it looked like the Celtics could have went to some blind pick action with Keegan Murray guarding Tatum this high with the pass to Kornet. It looks like Tatum was gonna go screen for Jrue Holiday, but Jrue ends up just flattening out to the dunker spot, right? So we got a screen and roll between Tatum and Kornet. So we got Jrue in the dunker spot, right? Kornet's gonna roll while Jrue is there. Keon Ellis is in the world of shit right now because he's the tag man, plus he has Jrue Holiday right behind him. As a basketball player, you know, it's hard to guard 2-on-1, but also like the Celtics just do a nice job of taking advantage of guys' instincts. As a basketball player, if you're in the paint, you see Luke Kornet rolling, that's probably going to be your main focus. He just completely forgets that Jrue Holiday is right there, and Jrue does a nice job switching blocks, switching the dunker spots. So he's not allowing Keon Ellis to guard him and Luke Kornet. If he was just standing right there, Keon Ellis would be able to guard him and Kornet. Jrue does a nice job going to the opposite block, and just this underhand left-handed, like, dude, I can't even like estimate how good of a passer he's become. Not only the accuracy, getting better with the double teams, getting better with traps, right? The passing variety, like he can do a left-handed pass across the court. He can do all this stuff, and this was just a phenomenal play. All right, man. I'm scratching my head right now. I don't know if y'all can hear in the mic, but we got something new added to the bag. When we thought Jayson Tatum couldn't do anything else, he pulls. Wait. Keon Ellis, hold on, brother. I gotta put the flashlight on you. Usually when players throw their hands up in the air, they feel like them or their teammates have been wronged in some way. So an uncalled foul, something of that nature. Did Keon Ellis think this was an illegal screen? There's no way that was an illegal screen. As soon as Keon Ellis's brain registers that Jayson Tatum just shot a one-legged pull-up three, he throws his hands in the air and looks at his coach. Like, what the hell are we supposed to do about this? And again, we got the high pick and roll, right? You set the screen super high, so you make a big like Valanciunas who isn't adept at moving his feet laterally and like covering space. You got Jayson Tatum going downhill at that guy, and it's just a really tough assignment for a big like Valanciunas. And like this was like Tatum had to be practicing this at some point. Like he has to practice because it was no wasted motion. He knew what he was doing. Right here, he knew what he was going to. No wasted motion, fluid, one-legged pull-up three. All right, so we got another drag screen and semi-transition. Keegan Murray goes under, and that's death. You know what? It's starting to make sense now. Now, I'm not condoning it, but when you do this to somebody, and then the next clip I'm gonna show you, Sabonis had to sacrifice, man. It just, man, listen, brother. I try to understand people, man, as they are. Sabonis's name will be etched on #thatlist for what he did to Tatum, but goddamn, brother. Kornet changed the angle of this pick and roll because he didn't get a good angle on the one on this side. So if he was to try to set that or just tap Keegan Murray in the back, he can probably fight through the screen and still be on Tatum. Him switching the angle really makes Sabonis the guy that Tatum's going downhill at. So Tatum splits him, step back, and it's his murder, man. So he violates Sabonis there. Keegan Murray plays good defense, great defense on this play. And Tatum just says, yeah, nah, I'm just probably going to just shoot this in front of the Kings bench while Sabonis is right there. And he's just like, you know what, bro? Sacrifice gotta be made. And shortly after this, Tatum's out of the game. But that is the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone that you can. Just shoot out there a little bit more. And I will see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.